Good morning. Really is morning. Sound like a crazy person. Um, Today would have been 2 years that I was with the last person I was in a relationship with. And it's been about 8 months. Has it been 8 months? Let me see. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Yep. It's been about 8 months since we parted ways. It was my choice to dissolve the relationship. Um, However, it was an interesting transition because we went through a lot of back and forth and ups and downs. Um, However, what I will say is I called myself when my intention was to be healing during that process as I was transitioning out of that relationship, which obviously everybody goes into a relationship thinking that it's going to last forever or for however long and hoping that it's the right relationship. However, I started to realize that it may not be right for us to be together. Even though I love this person very much, and I believe they love me as well, and I know that we loved each other very much, is just because you love somebody doesn't mean that they're your somebody. And it was a hard process. It wasn't something that came lightly. It wasn't something that came easy. No matter how hard I tried to be a certain way or do things a certain way to try to protect myself from hurting and all this other stuff, it doesn't stop the pain. It doesn't stop the hurt because hurt is something you have to physically feel and go through to get through it. So for me, looking back today on the date that would have been our 2-year anniversary, but also looking back at the fact that it's been 8 months now since us no longer existing as one, I feel like self-reflection is important. That's what I feel. I feel like not just saying you're healing, but actually doing the work to heal, whatever that looks like. And like I said, in order to heal, you got to go through the hurt to get through it. So there's been times in the last 8 months where I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm good. What? Over that? What? Done. And then there's other times where I will literally break down crying from a memory or a moment, a picture that'll pop up because I love pictures. Oh my God. But in those moments, what I don't feel is any hate. What I don't feel is I don't know. I just feel like I'm just allowing myself to process whatever emotions that come up. Like even right now, it's making me want to cry, which is confirmation that healing is an ever evolving thing. There is no timestamp on healing. There's no timestamp on hurt. You just have to go through it and get through it and just give yourself to God and lean into Him. And that's what I pretty much have been doing this last 8 months, besides focusing on myself, but just refocusing on my relationship, my spiritual connection with who I know is the final decision maker in all of these things. There was a small period of time where there was things that was said that was out of hurt, even after the breakup, just out of frustration once, things were being said on both sides that were, from my point of view, confusing. because it's like, no, I'm trying to heal and move on, and you're still telling me how you feel about us and me. And that, kicks up emotions inside of me that are there. And it just makes you question not so much like your decision, but like, well, did we actually do everything we were supposed to be doing to see the end of this thing? You start to question those things. But I feel in my heart of all hearts that ultimately, when I did have that outburst and got upset, because I feel like there was a little bit of deception still going on, at the end of the day, regardless of what I think is deception, that is that person's truth, right? And even if it's not my truth, even if it's not my reality, that's okay. You know what I mean? That's a part of the process of moving on, letting go, and untangling your life. But I will say that the place that I'm in now is a better place than I was, let's say, 8 months in our relationship, 8 months before we broke up. Um, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that transition. I'm grateful for that relationship because I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about what I want and what I don't want when it comes to my purpose partner and who I believe that God has for me. I do feel that everything happens for a reason, so I don't regret anything. Um, my love was genuinely there. And I think that there's going to be a place in my life and in my heart that that love will always be there, even if we don't ever speak again, even if we never get to properly end things the way we thought we were properly ending them, but actually get closure. I think the closure will probably come with just continued focusing on myself and allowing God to mend the pieces that I may not have done things the right way, or I may not have said things I should have said. Um, and forgive me, and I forgive myself for, not allowing him to lead me and just leaving with my own personal, lustful um, intentions and thinking or feeling that they were truly all pure. They weren't, but that's my life. I don't regret any of it. What I will say is where I'm at right now today is I'm in the process of one, going back to school to get my cosmetology license so I can hopefully, Lord willing, I will open my own business this year. I've also been getting into wholesaling, real estate education of myself, just pouring into myself, um, just finding ways to focus on things that matter to me, that fulfill me, that make me feel good, that make me feel like I'm using and finding in search of my purpose, um, and helping people, whether it's just through conversations, interacting with them. I've always been like that. I just want to pour into myself, but I also don't want to not be transparent or be honest with myself as I self reflect on what this last 8 months has been like for me, you know, and how the decisions that I made 8 months ago, they affect me today, not in a negative way, but in a positive way. Um, and I'm grateful for today because today was a good day. Today is a good day. Today was a good day 2 years ago, a year ago, and today is still a good day. So I want to try to redefine what these dates that we have in our minds, hold a place of, and also self reflect and grow from what ended and embrace what is coming. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I look at it. But what I will say is, I apologize for the last encounter that was had, the last words that were exchanged. They were truly how I felt, which was out of emotion and hurt. Um, but most of all, even though it was a lot of emotion and heightened, you know, redirected frustration, it was obviously coming from a place of love and also a place of hurt. So I had to go through those things to learn about myself. But I also can self reflect and see that I could have handled things differently, even if I felt like how I was handling them was justified. At the end of the day, this person is still God's child. And it's only right that I treat that person with respect no matter what. And still respect not so much disrespect them, but respect their choices, even if I don't agree with them, especially since I made the choice to end the relationship. So I can't fault someone for choosing to transition into a new relationship, even when or if I didn't know about it. That's not my story. That's not my place. It's not my business. However, I do want to apologize for the fact that in that moment, it brought me back to the reason why I chose to leave, which I want to now say thank you, because instead of in that moment me realizing it was God's confirmation for me that I made the right decision, I took it personal. You know what I'm saying? So, um, for who this is supposed to be for, if it's meant for you to see it, you will. If it's not, it wasn't meant. But I do hope that whatever decisions you make from then till now, it brings you happiness and peace, you know? Because that's always ultimately what I wanted. And today is going to be a good day. Today is a good day. I woke up this morning, God willing, thank goodness. And I always, randomly will document important moments and important days. And it's nice to look back on, even if I don't end up sharing it. But it's nice to look back on and see, like, that's where I was. That's where my heart was. And to be able to go back to this honest moment and be grateful and still have faith that whoever is for me will not pass me. And I'll know. Just like I knew this person wasn't for me, no matter how much it hurt to know that. And even if that's not what I wanted it to be, I accepted it because that was God's will. So these are not sad tears. They are to a certain extent, but they're also cleansing, So I'm grateful. And I forgive myself. And I forgive that person for what I perceived as hurt inflicted on me. But I forgive them because it wasn't done intentionally. And that's what matters. When in the grand scheme of things, that's what matters. So, peace, love, and light. I just went over the world. But peace, love, and light. And I hope that whoever's watching this, if you're watching it because you too have gone through a transition out of a relationship and you're needing some type of motivation or sign to keep going forward, because there are moments where you will look back and reflect, just know that everything happened the way it was supposed to. And this moment is not in vain. This moment is growing you. It is stretching you. That's what it's doing. That's what it's for. Even the fact that you're watching this video, it was meant for you to watch it. It was meant for you to come across it. So just know that when you look back at this moment, you'll see like this was you then, but this is not you now, if that makes sense. Whew. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, that's that. Have a good day.